I'd rather take it too far, push too hard, give too much, bite off more than I could chew, than not take it far enough and live the rest of my life in regret about the choices that I made or the choices that I didn't make. Because the only reward for taking it easy, for choosing the simple path, the easy path, the not pushing, the quiet moment, is that in that moment, it's easy. But that's it. There's no reward, there's no upside, there's no pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Your reward is that moment of ease that is hollow and doesn't fill you with satisfaction, that isn't truly joyful, and will leave you empty and unsatisfied and filled with regrets at the end of your life. So why not risk it all? Why not put it out there? And why not push forward? Because if in the moments when you catch yourself slacking, taking it easy, cruising, not putting in the work, and you don't call yourself out, you don't question what's going on, maybe you don't actually want the results. Maybe you don't actually want what you say you do. Maybe all you really wanted was to talk the talk. You don't want to walk the walk. You want to be able to say that you want this thing and that you're doing this work and all this kind of stuff. But in actual fact, you don't. You're just happy to sedate. You're just happy to cruise through life and enjoy the easiest version of it. So if you're not calling yourself out on that in that moment, when you realize that you are cruising, maybe be honest with yourself about what it is you truly want. This is the thing that I always come back to, that I don't think it matters how you choose to live your life. To be honest, I probably won't understand if you choose to sedate and just let it be. But if you are honest about it, even if it's just with yourself, that you have chosen the easy path, I think at least there's satisfaction in the honesty, that you're owning that this is the choice that you've made. But the talking the big game, the talking of I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that, and you've got all these words on this side, and on this side you have the actions that you're taking, and they don't align, that in itself is going to leave you unhappy. Because when you are out of alignment, when you are not living, in alignment with what you're truly wanting, it doesn't matter what that looks like, because you aren't going to be happy about it. You aren't going to find joy and satisfaction in it, because you keep saying one thing and doing something else. So you are truly and purely out of alignment with your own life. So how is that ever going to work out? And no, you don't need to be someone who chases big results. You don't need to be someone who's pushing towards something massive. You can still push towards greatness. You can still work harder. I've had a few people ask me about this, and they're like, well, what if my definition of greatness doesn't match yours? Cool. You do you. It doesn't matter what that looks like, as long as your alignment aligns with you. I was having this discussion with a friend of mine about my sister, and I think her deepest problem is that she's over here saying one thing, and then her actions are speaking here. She's saying that, she wants to be settled down in the area that we live in, and she wants to, do these kinds of things. And I was like, no, you want to travel the world. You want to be a free spirit. You want to go do all this kind of stuff. But you keep trying to shackle yourself here until you get unhappy enough and you break out. It's the life equivalent of a yo-yo diet. And I think a lot of people do this. And we just see it manifest in often things around exercise and health and fitness. That it's like, I want this. You know, I want to be in great fucking shape. I want a six-pack. I want to, you know, the body to match. I want to be fit, strong, and confident. I want to be able to do anything I want. I want to be able to play sport again. I want to, you know, all this kind of stuff. And it's not until you are so disgusted with the man in the mirror, or you have a wake-up call, whether that be a health scare or whatever it might be, and then suddenly you're like, well, I'm going to do something about this. And so your actions shift for a while. But then you revert back because it's hard. And you're like, oh, I actually don't want to give this effort. I don't want the results that I said I wanted. But I want to keep talking about all that kind of stuff. I think it's one of the reasons why so many men especially talk about the heydays, about how they used to be, you know, a great athlete, and when they were in their prime, they used to do this, and if these things could have gone right, they could have gone pro. And don't get me wrong, I've been there. There are still some days I wonder if that was all a pipe dream, all a figment of my imagination, or if there was a potential, if some things had gone right. But I don't want my lack of physicality, my inability in the health and fitness realm, in how I show up in the world, to be the factor. So I have to keep, you know, recalling how I was this great fucking athlete. No, I just want to be a great fucking athlete. Sure, I'm not going to play in the professionals, but I still want to be able to go, if I decide I'm going to play basketball, I can go play basketball. If I want to go play soccer, I can go play soccer. At any point, I can just decide to go do the things I want to do because my body is physically capable of it. Not have to question whether I am able to do these things. I want to walk the walk. I want to do the things. I want to risk taking this thing, this life, these gifts I've been given, maybe to the extreme, maybe too far, maybe be dubbed obsessed and crazy, but I'd rather push it too far and live authentically and in alignment with how I want to live my life than not risk it, not put it out there, and regret everything about my life. I'd rather go out in blaze of glory, having given everything, than question if I could have done more. Because literally the only regret I have in my entire life is that one of basketball. Because I don't think I did that. I don't think I gave it all. I don't think I left it all out there. I think I could have given more. So I refuse to let any other part of my life be that question. Be that, fall into that category of that man being like, well, I could have gone pro. I don't know. I don't think I probably could have. But I would rather have given it my all and put it all out there and know that I gave everything and just wasn't good enough, rather than have dangling questions. Because I can't think of anything worse to get to the end of your life and go, what could have been? What could I have done? What could I have achieved in my life if I'd been willing to give more? If I'd been willing to sacrifice more? If I'd been willing to give up the things that don't serve me? As I keep saying to you, this is the thing that keeps coming up. I don't want to have the questions of, did I not achieve my potential in life? Did I not reach where I wanted to go because I chose easy? Because I chose sedation? Because I chose in the moment very simple and easy options? Never do I want to have that question standing over me. I don't want to reach the end of my life and have those questions still. I'd rather have risked it all, pushed too far, pushed too hard, than not enough and wonder and be left with thoughts and wondering of what was possible. Because I don't think you ever regret going and giving it your all. I don't think you ever regret leaving it all out there. I think the only regrets ever come from the choices you didn't make, from the things you didn't do, from the opportunities that you didn't take. I think that's where regret comes from. I don't think it comes from effort. I don't think it comes from, putting yourself out there. And it's always the one I come back to. If you dedicate, say you go all in, and you try 126 to greatness, I'd recommend starting with chasing greatness, but say you want to skip ahead a little bit and you go to 126 to greatness, and you dedicate 126 days to being the greatest version of yourself, and you give up the things that don't serve you. If at the end of it, you go, that trade-off wasn't worth it, I highly fucking doubt you will. I really, really doubt you will because of who you'll become on the other side. But just to say, for argument's sake, you did. At least you did it. At least you put yourself out there. At least you showed that you could, and there are the possibilities of being that man. And you know for a fact that that's not the path you want to take. And there's no questions of wondering. There's no questions of regret. There's no questions of could have been, might have been, should have been. You put yourself out there, you gave it your all, you showed that you could, and you decided it wasn't for you. Cool. Then you move the fuck on with your life. But at least you've authentically said that that's not who you want to be. You've authentically said that's not how you want to live your life. That version of you is so much more powerful than the man who just pretends, who wonders, who says he doesn't have time, who says he'd rather take it easy. Because remember, your reality is a direct reflection of your choices. If you aren't happy with your reality, change the fucking choices. You aren't a tree. You aren't stuck. You can change the choices that you make. You can change those options. At any point in your life is the opportunity to do something different, to be someone different, to turn over a new leaf and have a crack and see. And maybe you don't get it right the first time. Maybe you do try something new and you go all in and you're like, oh, that's not for me. At least you fucking tried. At least you put yourself out there. At least you attempted it. And as I said, then you can own the fact and in full knowledge know that that's not for you. And you can be honest with that statement. But for me, and I'm assuming that for you, if you're still here, if you're still listening to this, that's not who you are. You'd rather risk it all. You'd rather put it all out there and see who you can be and discover what is possible. To leave no question and see what's on the other side, than forever wonder what could have been. And as I said, I have believed this for a long, long time, that that's who I'd rather be. And I haven't authentically lived that. It's literally tattooed on my ribs that I would risk the fall to know what it feels like to fly. And yet, my only regret in life is that I didn't do that. That I had a passion, that I had something that I loved and I was obsessed with, and yet I didn't leave it all out there. I didn't give it my all. I didn't see what was possible. I didn't push it as far as I could have taken it. And that's my regret. Not that it didn't come off, not that I didn't succeed, not that I didn't end up where I wanted to, but that I have questions around the amount of effort I gave, that I have questions around how much more could have been given. And I don't want that for the rest of my life. I don't want that to be the lingering question on my life. Hell, I don't want that for my children either. I want to get to the end of my life and my kids be like, nah, Dad lived his life to the fullest. Dad pushed himself and gave it all. He didn't waste his time on insignificant things like TV and social media and video games and junk food and all that crap. He gave it his all to be the best that he could be in any endeavor. I'd rather that than the story being, well, Dad watched a lot of TV. He kicked back on the couch at the end of every day, regardless of the effort that was given, called it a good day. He spent a lot of time on his phone, deeply engaged in shit that nothing matters. No. I'd rather live in the extremes of life. And that means in all areas. Extremes can be different variants. It's that when I'm with my children, I'm with my fucking children. My phone's in another room. I'm not thinking about it. I'm not looking at it. I'm not checking it to see what other people want from me, or checking to see what new memes or reels or TikTok dances are fucking going on. No, I'm there, present, connected, and part of that life, taking in, fully absorbed in the special moments that are transpiring and rapidly disappearing in front of my eyes. I'd rather be present in that moment, to look back on that time with fond memories. Same with my wife. I'd rather do things that connect us deeper and be a part of that. I'd rather spend as much of my life deeply connected and pushing forward and being present, because I think that, especially in the modern world, more than anything, is living life on the extreme ends. That's you pushing things to the limit, is being fucking present. And in all areas, from with your children to your partner to your friends to your family to the people you work with, even to yourself. That's why I talk about when we do the weighted walks, that it should be in silence. It should just be you and you alone with your thoughts, and seeing what arises, what's really there. Who are you when there's no more chatter? Same with the workouts. I've recently reached that one again, that just to be in silence while you do your workout. Like a psychopath, I was informed the other day. But it's just you and the pain. It's just you and how much can you give? How much more do you have left in the tank? How much more can you push? Because it used to be that I'd listen to podcasts or audiobooks while I'd work out. That's a definitive split focus. Like, I am not concentrating to the highest degree on my workouts if I'm listening to those things, because I'm trying to be cognizant of those. I'm trying to listen and absorb and take on. And the reason why I struggled and stopped myself from giving that up for so long was I was like, oh, well, then I won't have enough time to listen to my podcasts or my audiobooks. And I just came back to the thought, and I was like, it falls under the same category of, if it's important, you'll find the time. So if those things truly enrich my life and truly matter, I'll figure out time to listen to my podcasts, listen to my audiobooks. But if they don't, like, I'm pretty sure they don't, not on the immense hours that I was dedicating to it, some certainly will, then they're not important in this phase of my life. They're not the thing that uplifts me and progresses me forward. Because most of them were for entertainment. They weren't for growth and progression time. So I'd rather, as I said, I'd rather push it. I'd rather take this life too far, remove too many things and realize, well, maybe I do want to add those back in, then choose easy and simple and comfortable over the things that are going to impact my life for the greatest good. I'd rather choose effort now and keep pushing forward than choose easy and comfortable and get to the end of my life and go, I wasted this life. I wasted it all to be, reach the end and be presented with the man I could have been and the man I am and go, fuck, that gap is gigantic. And I think that's where we should want to take our lives. We should want to push it to the level where we see what our potential is. We see who we can be on the other side. So if you want to join me on that journey, you wanted to see who you can be when you go all fucking in, when you cut off all other options and you discover who you can truly be, shoot me a message. Let's get you into Chasing Greatness Daily. Let's start that process. Let's begin the journey of removing the things that don't fucking matter to become the greatest version of yourself, most disciplined, the most mentally strong, the best version of yourself. So if you're ready for that, shoot me a message and let's start that process. If you're not quite there yet, click the link in my bio, grab my top 10 tools to transform your mental toughness. And lastly, if you enjoyed this, if it spoke to you, if it's something that inspires you or makes you question what you're doing, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. But most importantly, subscribe. Do me that huge favor. Subscribe. Let me know, let the algorithm know that this is something of value, that you're enjoying this. And in return, what I'll do is I'll continue to keep sharing this. I'll keep showing up every single day to be here, to guide you through, to share my experiences as I go through this journey and share the experiences of my guys as they go through it. But that is all I have for you. I'll be back again tomorrow. Until then.